Alright, now I told you about the 2 times I was bipolar. I'll tell you about the 1 time I had a rare tumor and died in surgery. Okay, so I'm maybe about like 30, 31 years old. I'm married. I started having problems. I started having what it seemed like panic attacks. Most of the time, they happened to me when I was straining or doing something. A couple times they happened to me while I was trying to take a shit. So I get straining to have to go to take a shit, would kick off this tumor, and then I would get a panic attack. A pounding ass headache all of a sudden would rush on, and I didn't know why, and I just didn't know what to do. I'd like lay down on the floor, shitty ass and all, trying to hope, pray the shit go away. So I went to the hospital. They did a stress test. They did all kind of tests. They never could find anything wrong with me, and they started to think I was on cocaine. I'd never done cocaine because growing up, I had a parent that was a crackhead, and I just never fucked with the shit. So they couldn't find out what was wrong with me. So I went on like this for a while. I used to got to be where I couldn't do anything. I'd move a certain kind of way, and it must have been shooting out adrenaline, and then I'd have a panic attack and have trouble. So I had given up on them finding out what was wrong with it. And then one of the bathroom episodes happened, and my wife convinced me to go to the hospital, and they found I had a tumor on my adrenal gland. It's called a pheochromocytoma. It's a rare tumor. The shit's been on house. So I had to go have surgery. So I go to see the doctors here that originally caught it. Like you go see an endocrinologist, and they test different parts of your fluids and whatnot to see the levels of adrenaline, norepinephrine, and a couple other little shits like that you have in your system that have to do with adrenaline. So I'm sitting here talking to the doctor, and he said, you know, you're going to have surgery. It's a dangerous surgery because when they cut the blood supply to this tumor, your blood pressure bottoms out completely. And if they don't shoot some shit to shoot your blood pressure to maintain it to where it don't all the way bottom out, you'll die. So he told me he had a surgeon here in town that had done the surgery once. And that's all he said. That's exactly how he said it. He didn't say nothing else. And he said, if I was you, I'd get a second opinion. So that wouldn't build me with a lot of confidence with the one doctor here. So I live in Indiana. I live in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Fort Wayne is the 2nd biggest city in Indiana, but it's really not that big. But it sits in the biggest county. The 2nd biggest county is where Indianapolis, Indiana is, which is our biggest city, home of the Colts. Fuck the Colts. I'm not a Colts fan. I have on a Colts shirt while I say that anyway. But that's neither here nor there. So he says I get a second opinion. So I went down to Indianapolis to like our college state-run hospital, and saw a doctor there. She was originally from the Cleveland Clinic, and she had moved there. She had done the surgery about 5 times, and that was considered a lot for this particular surgery. So I go, and they're going to do it laparoscopically, which is with the robots. They make 3 little incisions, and robots take the shit out. So I go and have the surgery. Everything's going well. I guess when they cut the blood supply, they must have missed to shoot the stuff in to make my blood pressure not bottom out, and I bottomed out and died on the table. Only reason why I know this is because my wife says she's seen I was in the operating room, then back out, then back in the operating room again. So then, you know, I ended up making it. It wasn't no big deal. And I woke up and I was incubated and all that shit in my face. And it was like I was cussing people out and shit and causing a mess when they first woke me up. When I remember waking up, I don't remember none of that shit. I just remember I wanted a cigarette. And I'm in Indianapolis. I think it was called Clairton Hospital or something. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I was in that hospital and I wanted a cigarette. All I had on was my hospital gown and stuff. I snuck out of my room, walked down some back steps all the way outside to have a cigarette. I went to my car, got the cigarette out, had a cigarette, had a wonderful time. I went back to the door I came out of. It was one of them automatic locking doors. I couldn't get back in. I had to walk, like probably half a mile to the front of the building. The day after I had surgery, I was weak. I almost didn't make it, and I had to, like, sneak myself back into my hospital room. And by the time I got back, they figured out I was left, and they was freaking out because they didn't know where I'd go. But I died, and I survived, and that's the story about how I had a pheochromocytoma. This is Chala. Peace.